We have a challenge. The greatest challenge in the history of humanity. There's a world to save. Each and every one of us must rethink, reprogram ourselves, and change the way that we usually do things. The construction industry makes up around 40% of our total CO2 emissions. The king of wasteful thinking, really. Drastic change is required to reduce our new build carbon footprint from the current 1,000 kilograms of CO2 per square meter down to 300 kilograms, which is the 2030 target. That's steep, but not impossible. And above all, necessary. And it has to be a team effort, where every detail counts when building a new construction standard. At NorDan, we try to lead by example. We've done it for nearly 100 years now. We try to do our part by improving ourselves through our products. More than 90% of an ordinary NorDan window frame is made from timber, which is a natural carbon sink. It keeps the embodied carbon figures among the lowest in the industry, with CO2 emissions from NorDan less than half of aluminium or UPVC windows. Compared to other composite materials in the market, there is no comparison. With U values as low as 0.7 and unbeaten durability, even in harsh coastal environments, it gives any house the homeliness it deserves for generations to come, which comes in handy when facing the fact that the UK needs to build 350,000 new homes each year to meet the demand. So why is timber an excellent building material? For one thing, it's carbon negative. It absorbs and stores more carbon than it emits during its growth time. From a full-grown tree, we can extract material for building 30 windows. When a NorDan window is installed in a home, it will stay there for at least 60 years, keeping the home well insulated and energy efficient. You see, we like to commit ourselves long-term. It's the only way, if there's going to be a long-term at all. At NorDan, we are ready to do what it takes to reverse the climate change. Please join us. There's a window of opportunity. And that is now.
Welcome, one and all, to the Orium, Scotland's Sports Performance Centre, which today plays host to the NorDan British Handball Super Cup Finals. That's right, it's the Sunday. That means we've only got medals to be giving out, trophies, Player of the Match awards, and everything in between, and European places as well. My name is Jack Oliphant. I will be your host for today. Hopefully you joined us yesterday for the semi-finals. It was 4 matches filled to the brim with excitement and enthusiasm especially, and as you can see, the teams are starting to come out now. This is Edinburgh versus Newcastle, the first game of the day, the bronze medal match for the women's. Edinburgh came up short against the West London Eagles yesterday. Newcastle came up short against Olympia, but today they're hoping to reignite their rivalry that they've had throughout the season in the league, and it culminates to obviously the British Super Cup third medal match. Speaking to the Newcastle coach before the game actually, and he was a little bit nervous. He was expecting a decent game here, maybe Edinburgh, the slightly stronger team, or the slightly more favourites to come out of this with the medal, but it's the strongest Edinburgh team that they've had in the season against Newcastle Vikings, but equally it's the Vikings' strongest team they've been able to field against Edinburgh themselves, so it's going to be a thriller, that's for sure. I'll run you down the team sheets as announcer Dave is doing. You might be able to hear him in the background. But Edinburgh's team as it stands. Number 9, Amanda Clemens-Cass. Number 10, Louise Cox-Thompson and the captain. Number 11, Elisa Moreno. Number 13, Hannah Keenan. Number 14, Nuria Valesios. Number 15, Maria Rocon. Number 17, Sarah Hauk. Number 20, Maria Diaz. Number 22, Agnieszka Veglars. Number 25, Alicia Anna Vispasek. Number 32, Elizabeth Musa. Number 96, Bianca Mata. And number 98, Stephanie Fesler. And then added to the team sheet relatively late was the number 5, Dina Gray. On the bench for Edinburgh is Mads Aun. The Newcastle team will line up with number 2, Marie Brevet. Number 3, Marlon Slinging Gulti. Number 5, Mathilde Bergstad. Number 7, Josie Meyerlands. Number 9, Rosa Search. Number 10, Alexandra Inter. Number 11, Olivia Shimkowiak. Number 13, Alina Inter. And number 14, Sandra Krisk-Lamb. On the bench for Newcastle Vikings, the 2 coaches, Adam Batley and Blessing Ogby. The 2 referees for today's game as well. They'll be refereeing this game and the women's final a little later on at 2 o'clock. Will be Gianna Stella Marisi and Andrea Alejandra Pepe even. And there are the 2 referees. Just getting ready. Refereed 2 of the games yesterday as well. In fact, they refereed the Olympia versus Newcastle game, and I believe the North East Manchester Hawks versus EK82. What is the British Handball Super Cup? Well, let's give a little bit of a context to what we're about to see. It's the pinnacle of handball in the UK. It's those teams that finished first and second in the English leagues against those who finished first and second in the Scottish League. They come together to battle it out to see who is the best in the land, effectively. I believe the top 3, so whoever wins this game, plus the 2 finalists, get eligibility to go and play in the European competitions, if they choose to do so, of course. And 4th place will just have to deal with being 4th, I suppose. A big thank you to NorDan for sponsoring this brilliant event, and Warp Design for getting involved as a partner as well. And we do have the NorDan player of the matches to be giving out in the finals. They'll be nominated by the opposing coach. So let's say Edinburgh will nominate 1 player from Vikings, and Vikings will nominate 1 player from Edinburgh. The schedule for today as well, just before we get going, and it looks like Hawks will get us going. Edinburgh versus, sorry, that's yesterday actually. Edinburgh versus Newcastle Vikings is the game that you're about to see. Olympia versus EK82, it's the men's 3rd place playoff. That kicks off, or throws off actually, at 12 o'clock. Then at 2 o'clock we've got the West London Eagles versus Olympia in the women's. And then at 4 o'clock it is Livingston versus Hawks, and that kicks off at 4 o'clock as Newcastle get us underway here today against Edinburgh. It may sound weird, but this is an all-Scottish affair, given the fact that Newcastle clearly isn't in Scotland, for anybody aware of UK geography. But they play in the league, as it's an awful lot closer for them to travel, to be honest. There's really not much in the northeast of England in terms of handball and competitive handball anyway. So Newcastle Vikings decided to take the option of going back to Scotland leagues, the Scottish leagues even, for the first time since 2013-14, I believe. So, yeah, been out of the game for a while, but this isn't the first time they've done it. Edinburgh did win the league. The Vikings obviously coming in second in their first foray back into the competition. It's quite impressive. Neither team scoring on their first attack here. Edinburgh with a decent shot. Newcastle with a decent shot, but Edinburgh didn't even get their travel given against Newcastle. Looked like the foul was being ridden, but the referees have deemed it the other way. The referees here at this event, both the 2 that are here today, and here in this game, and the 2 that will referee the other half of the games, the men's games today. All 4 of them EHF standard referees, flown over from Italy and Sweden, of course. And it's lovely to have such high-quality officials, delegates, and everything here for this brilliant event. Just goes to show the extra care that's been put into it. And it is for European places, so I suppose it should be given as much effort and everything as possible. Here is the number 2, Brevet, trying to go for the shot from the right half. Actually, the score of Newcastle's first goal yesterday against Olympia. There's no hiding it. It was a difficult game for Newcastle as Edinburgh gets a penalty. I'll just finish my train of thought. The 29-9 was the score for Olympia against Newcastle. I think it took Newcastle a good 12 minutes to get their first goal on the board, but to be fair, in the second half they did put up a bit of a better show. Maybe not in defence, but in attack certainly. Here is Cox-Thompson scoring the first goal of the game, and she is the main source of goals, or if yesterday is anything to be believed, she certainly is. She scored 6 against West London Eagles. So it looks like the Alina Inter and Alexandra Inter playing on the right back for Newcastle. Alina Inter in the centre, number 13. Obviously crossing around now. And then there's Shimkoviak as well, who's the number 11. Those are the 3 backcourt players for Newcastle, hoping to make something happen. Top scorer for Newcastle yesterday was Alexandra Inter. I believe a couple of penalties helped in bolstering the 3 goals. Good move, good offload, and it looks like, oh, is there going to be a bit of medical attention here, unfortunately, for Shimkoviak. She did get past the player, a little bit of a late challenge. Is there 2 minutes being shown? There is indeed. That's not really that surprising. The player had gone. There was a bit of a tackle from the side or behind. Let's have a look at this. Yeah, player went for the interception. Shimkoviak beat her to it. Didn't quite catch the number of the player who has been sent off. Is it Matin, the number 96? I'm going to go that it is, because she has been playing at right wing. She played there yesterday. Played the entire game from memory, actually, yesterday from right wing. Well, she's going to have at least 2 minutes rest here in this one. Good tackle there by the 98, Stephanie Fessler, halting Alina Inter in her tracks. As they move the ball out to the left wing. Tries to charge up for the shot. They get the corner. In handball, it's always a goalkeeper's ball unless it's deflected out by a defender. So even if the goalkeeper is the last person to touch it, it will then be a goalkeeper's ball. Good goal, secured into the bottom left. Not the most powerful Alina Inter, but it doesn't always need to be. It just needs to be accurate. Put it where the goalkeeper isn't. More often than not, end up scoring the goal. Nearly 5 minutes gone, score 1-1. A penalty and a well-placed shot. Not the fast, powerful start that potentially we were expecting to see, but it is early in the morning as there's a bit of a contact there. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Maria Rockon. Oh, shot from the right wing. As I was looking down towards the team sheet, actually, but I'm guessing a good save by King, who actually isn't on the team sheet. Well, I just know that it's Andrea King, so I'm just going to scribble her name in here once we get this shot done and dusted. There we go, the number 10 of Edinburgh. Yet again, Louise Cox-Thompson with her second of the match. There we go, Andrea King with 1 save to her name. Made 4 crucial saves, to be fair, against Olympia yesterday. Had a decent game. As Brevitt goes for the shot. Looks like defending in the area for the number 9.
Alex.
That's Cass giving away a penalty. And up steps Inter, Alexandra Inter. As I said, scored 3 yesterday, 2 from the penalty spot. Clearly confident and gets it into the top left corner. Really nice goal. That's to equal it up once more. The player of the match for me yesterday for the Edinburgh game, Edinburgh versus West London Eagles, which obviously the West London Eagles ended up coming out on top. It was a bit of a tale of 2 halves, a game of 2 halves really. But in the first half, Veglars was absolutely inspired in goal. The Eagles' shots weren't exactly like the best we've ever seen from them, but Veglars saved everything for about a 10-minute period. It was very, very impressive. Good shot up there. Not to be. Here's the first fast break of the day, and Andrea King coming out and intercepting it. The ball gets moved up. There is going to be space as the number 14 for Edinburgh is out of position. Tries to slap the ball out of the hands of the Newcastle goalkeeper. Newcastle player even, not goalkeeper. Inter trying to charge something up now. Offloads it to Inter. It might get a bit confusing this. And there's the goal though for the number 11, Szymkowiak. First goal for her. She scored 2 yesterday. We're hoping to get a bit of a bigger tally. All of the Newcastle players, I'm sure, today. Well, I was having a chat with them actually over breakfast and everything, and they were just pleased. Makes them sound like they're not competitive, but they were sort of just pleased to be here in a way. It's an experience to play on this court, this kind of coverage with the fan base and obviously EHF referees and everything like that. It is an experience for players that doesn't come around all too often. So they were just very pleased to play against a standard of team as well as Olympia are, who are, well, champions in England. Very difficult team to beat, high standard handball team. And I'm sure they're probably going in today thinking that they can play a little bit better than they did yesterday. Good save there by Andrea King again. Finding hair on the ball by the looks of it. So 3-2 to Newcastle. And from everybody I was talking to earlier on about how this game may well go, because I haven't seen much of the Scottish League, well, I don't think they expected Newcastle to be leading particularly. Edinburgh are probably not expecting it either, to be honest. And the shot goes wide again. Wasteful here from Edinburgh. And that was Thompson trying to take it upon herself to get the ball. As they seem to throw it away, they'll give it straight back to Edinburgh. Can they break up the court? Number 98 offloads it. Is this Mata back on the court after 2 minutes? And it's a goal despite the best efforts of Andrea King. Mata, a dangerous player. No, I don't mean that because she's got 2 minutes. I mean that because she's lethal from that right wing position, and lots of line movement that she was giving headaches to Olympia yesterday, West London Eagles yesterday. Coming in as those second lines, but it doesn't look like she's had the opportunity to enact that today. Not just yet anyway, you never know. It's a long 50 minutes of handball left to go. Lots can happen. 3-3 is the score. Just having a look at on the left wing, Mathilde Gestadt. Oh, Stefanowski comes out to Gestadt and gets the penalty. Bergstadt there, Norwegian, born in 2005. So one of the younger players, in fact, the youngest player. No, actually, Alexandra Inter is born in 2006. Those two, by far and away, the youngest players in this Newcastle team. And here is Alexandra Inter. Good save, though, by Veglars from the penalty. Not 100% surprising, but a good save there. And it's slightly surprising that Inter misses it rather than Veglars saves it. After the performance yesterday, it's quite sensational. Veglars being with Edinburgh for the last 6 years. Didn't play, apparently, before joining Edinburgh. Polish-born goalkeeper. Well, she clearly is very good in goal. Now, I thought that was a timeout, but it just looked like maybe there was a break in play and the clock had stopped. That was a bit of a strange one. Anyway, we get back going. So 3-3 is the score. Newcastle give away an opportunity to go back into the lead. Edinburgh attempting to find a way through this time. Moving the ball from left to right. Little space for the line, little offload, nice little pat pass. Not enough room for the winger. There is going to be enough room for the winger if they can get the ball there, and that's exactly where it goes. There's lots of more opportunity there. And the number 9, Cars, gets her first goal. 4-3 to Edinburgh. So Newcastle miss a penalty. Edinburgh go at the other end and get themselves into the lead. Anybody who's watched handball before will be fully well aware that realistically you're not going to be worried about a 1, 2 or 3 goal lead, especially in the first half. Momentum can shift and change so quickly here in this sport. It's one of the reasons why it's the best sport in the world, in my opinion. Bit of a aggressive defence there. Fessler holding on to the ball. Edinburgh deciding to slow it down as Fessler gets the ball passed to her, and a bit of a scrap for the rolling ball. Shimkoviak going in, seeing an opportunity but didn't come away. As Edinburgh try and activate the second pivot and give it as much space to Carstens as possible, and she takes advantage even though it's a sloppy pass. Amanda Clement-Cars gets her second of the game, second in about a minute. Edinburgh, he's starting to get the impression that they're leading into this game a little bit more, getting a bit of control. Maybe it was a bit of an early start for them, I don't know. They were out here warming up a little bit earlier than Newcastle, even though Newcastle had been here for about 45 minutes before they appeared on court for the warm-up. Actually saw them in the hotel having breakfast at about 8:30 this morning, so not sure where Edinburgh got here, but obviously they weren't needing the hotel, being the most local team to Oriam Sports Centre. In fact, Scottish Handball treated us to a nice night out yesterday in Edinburgh. Not night out, sort of just a nice evening meal. It is that close here to Oriam, only about 20-minute drive. As Edinburgh now start to try and get some movement in the ball, but it's again sloppy passes, not helping them. They try and move the ball out to the right wing into Mata. She spins her player and spins it into the top corner. Really nice goal there by Mata. Crowd goes wild. I can hear them in the background. Sounds like we've got some horns and whatnot going on. And I think there's a timeout called by Newcastle. Here is a replay. Diaz seeing the opportunity, firing it over. And the 5 for Newcastle. Mathilde Bergstadt could not handle it. Getting stepped by Mata. Very quick and explosive player. See that Adam Batley trying to give some instruction to the Newcastle team. They have lost the lead by a couple of points. They definitely need some kind of plan to try and get into this, because you get the impression that if you're basing anything off the league positions, off the performances yesterday, Edinburgh, if they get their noses in front, they could run away with this one. Mads Aun wants that to happen, obviously. Tries to give some encouragement to their players as they start to go back onto the court now. The crowd starts to grow behind. You can still come down to the Oriam Sports Centre if you are local-ish to the sports park. There is tickets still available for about £8. Get yourself down. There's 3 more games of handball after this to come. 12 o'clock, 2 o'clock and 4 o'clock. 2 finals, obviously 2 o'clock and 4 o'clock. Marlin's got into the centre now, into that right back. Alexandra Inter, it's actually replaced Alina Inter at the right back position. Oh, big tackle as the shot was being taken. Shimkoviak hasn't been removed from that left back at all this game so far, even though there's been a bit more rotation in every other position. Here goes Marlin. They've given a travel there for the fumbling of the ball. Edinburgh get up the other end of the court, trying to make the tackle. Was Brevet, but couldn't secure it. So the number 25, Vipasek, gets the goal on the fast break. 7-3 game now, 4 goals with 15 minutes into this one. And I said you wouldn't worry about a 1 or 2 or 3 goal game in the first half. If it starts eking out to 5 or 6, that's when you start to worry though. And it's a long way back from that point, and Edinburgh know that. That's why they're trying to go for the jugular early on. If they've got the momentum, might as well use it. Tries to pass to the line. It's a bit of a slow bounce though. Diaz couldn't get it there. Fessler couldn't recover it. Ooh, poor pass there by Inter. Marlin just about picks it up. It's those sort of sloppy mistakes that they don't need right now. The line is good movement. It was a little free there, but there just wasn't the vision by Inter to give them the ball. It ends up breaking down. And Edinburgh come up once again. Here's Diaz. There's the line to Mata. We saw it lots of times in the game yesterday. There's going to be a penalty under 2 minutes given out here. And I believe that was Maria Brevitt getting the 2-minute suspension as she went off. Almost getting a round of applause, a badge of honour for getting a 2 minutes there. But and it's now King's turn to try and save the penalty as Veglars did before. Cox Thompson. No problem whatsoever for the captain of on the penalty spot. 3 goals to her name now. So Newcastle now have to do it with only 5 players out there on the court. They decided not to bring out the goalkeeper, which is a tactic you do quite often see when a player down. And what you have seen is them throwing the ball away. And that's not what they need to do, as Edinburgh now get an opportunity with a player advantage to try and get the goal against Newcastle. They start moving the ball quickly, pretty much immediately, but they calm it down. The number 11 for Edinburgh has come on. Here comes Mata, though. Ooh, very high and wide there by Mata. Elisa Moreno's come onto the court at the centre position. We only saw her briefly yesterday, but very explosive. Very good step from left to right. We'll see if she can expose some gaps in the middle of the park for Edinburgh. Marlin goes for the shot. Straight at 2 players. No real height on it. Corner ball. Christique Lamb gets the ball back in. Inter trying to lose a marker, Mata, but is unable to do so as they spin and try to offload the ball. No foul in there apparently. There's a fast break on here for Edinburgh. Good step, good ball control. There we go. Mata's making the difference right now. From that right wing position, fast breaks, tight shots. Doesn't seem to matter. She gets the ball in the back of the net regardless. "17 minutes gone then, and you get the impression that Newcastle, although a positive start, is starting to let this game slip a little bit. I think the score is 2-0 since that 2-minute suspension was given. They are back to their full complement of players now, though, and they need to think of something else to get past this Edinburgh setup, who seem to be growing in confidence, growing in strength in their defensive situations. That's what you need, though. As I said, the number 11, Shimkoviak, hasn't been moved from that left back position, but she has now. Over to the right back. And scores the goal from it as well. I always find it difficult as a right-hander from right back. It felt like everything was going backwards whenever I had to go over there. Much preferred it in my my little comfort zone over at left half. As soon as I moved over to right back, didn't have the foggiest of what was going on. So Edinburgh now 9-4 to the good. Try and get that second line in. Bit of movement, bit of a pat pass, and there's Moreno trying to get through. I said a very quick left to right step. Could have probably done with a right to left there. There's a lot more space through the 1 and 2 defender. Here's Diaz. Moves it out. Moreno offloads it. Very nicely done. Over to Mata. And dispatched into the top corner because, of course, it is. 4 goals for Mata. Looks like she's enjoying it out there. It looks like her teammates know that as well. Trying to get the ball to her for every opportunity possible. King can't seem to win the battle between winger and goalkeeper, and it tends to be a battle. Oh, Inter losing the ball. Great pass out, and of course it goes to that right wing, but this time it's Moreno. Just double checking, but yeah, it is Elisa Moreno. Edinburgh certainly starting to flex their stuff now. Inter trying to get the ball out. Ooh. Was that a travel? I was looking down at my notes there. But it doesn't matter. Goes there, isn't King. Andrea King with the save. That's the first time I think she saved it from that right wing position. A little bit of confidence maybe coming her way. Maybe she started to figure out what Matt is about to do. And already it looked like Inter was a little bit tired there, almost hands on knees. Maybe just trying to clean some of the tack and the dirt off. But Newcastle have played as if they're a little bit tired here. Maybe just a bit of a shell shock with the speed of the game. Trying to move the ball. Marlin, that's going to be a penalty for defending in the area against Mata. Now it was Inter last time, Alexandra Inter. But it was saved by Veglars. Are they going to switch it up? Or are they going to trust her? Looks like they're switching it up. No, number 9's trying to get the ball away. Search doesn't want it. Alexandra Inter steps up. Youngest player on the team, given one of the biggest responsibilities. That's how much they trust her. They want her to get the confidence, but she puts it wide. That's not going to help. I'm sure she appreciates the confidence from her bench, from her team. Maybe next time there will be a change of penalty taker. So Edinburgh back with the ball. 21 minutes gone. Mata looking for the line. That's a bit forced. It's going to be a Newcastle ball, but it rolls away, so no fast break are given. Marlon coming up the court with it. Shimkoviak. And they've changed the Inter for the other Inter, which does get a little bit confusing. Alina this time. I suppose it makes it slightly easier for the commentary if all having to shout is one name, but number 13 is now on Alina. Marlon moving the ball to Alina, takes a shot, saved there fairly easily by Veglars. That's a, I would say, second sort of big save. First one was a penalty of the game. Diaz looking for the pass to the line, and they managed to get it, but there's not going to be a goal, and there's no penalty either. Stephanie Vesler couldn't convert after what was, to be fair, a little bit of an awkward pass to her. Whenever the line player gets the ball, you half expect them to at least hit the target. There's been a change right wing as well. Newcastle's number 7, Josie Mylands, has come on. Maybe offering a slightly different option. Offload down to the centre, into the line as well. Here's Inter, and they get the ball. It's a little bit scrappy, but they won't care. Alina Inter with the goal. Remember, the British Super Cup, you do end up getting European qualification as well into some of Europe's competitions. 3rd, 2nd and 1st. So at the moment it would be Newcastle who would miss out on that opportunity. I don't really expect that they would have taken it regardless. Edinburgh may well do. Depending obviously on club finances, commitment to the players and everything like that. It's a bit of a big commitment to be flying out to Europe for various reasons. Just for a handball match. But I mean, as a player, I would absolutely love to do it if I was given the opportunity. It's whether or not the club can afford it, whether the players can afford it though as well. This is an amateur sport in England. At the end of the day, that's King with another save. Yeah, this is an amateur sport, sorry, in the UK, not just in England, obviously. I'm a bit force of habit of saying that, covering the English side of the game for the majority of this year. But unless you can get some kind of sponsorship for your team to maybe do that travel for the accommodation and everything like that, it is a big ask. And that's why we don't often hear many teams actually going over to mainland Europe to play in those sort of competitions, even when they are eligible these days. Happens every so often. I believe Livingston played in 2019, the first European game on Scottish soil for, I think it was about 25 years or something like that. So I would like to see more of that. Good movement, though. We'd like to see more of this kind of handball as well. As a penalty given. Szymkowiak getting in the way of Kars. Is it going to be Thompson to step up? You probably put decent money on it being that way. Yep, there we go. 3 goals so far. I think 2 of them are penalties. 4 goals, 3 of them are penalties. No mistaking for that one for Cox Thompson. 5 minutes to go in this first half. 11-5 is the score to Edinburgh. After Newcastle had a pretty decent and strong start. They were actually in the lead 3-2. And since then, it's not really gone their way at all. Here goes Inter. Marlett trying to get the shot away. Ends up being tackled through the centre of the court. Marlon, who's been with the club for 11 years, pretty much decided to play anywhere. She, when listing her positions, she's put centre, half and pivot. So basically, she's allergic to the wings and goalkeeper, but apart from that, she'll play anywhere. Originally of Norway, and actually played for London GD, who aren't here this weekend. And Hod Handball, which I'm probably saying incorrectly because Hod is spelled H-O-D-D, but with the O having one of those diagonal lines through it. So apologies if I'm getting that wrong, Marlon. But having been with Newcastle for 11 years, it's Vikings blood through and through for her. And it's a good interception there by the 11. Here is Marlon herself up the other end of the court. She's going to get a penalty. She didn't get the goal. No, she didn't get the penalty. She wasn't quite close enough to the area, I don't feel. Good recovery run there by the number 13, Hannah Keenan. Referee saying that it's not quite far enough ahead of her opponent to warrant the penalty, I'm guessing. Malins, unfortunately, throwing the ball away there unnecessarily as well. Not really what you want to see when you got 3.5 minutes to play. 11-5 down. Moose has come on to the right back. Here she is. Moves the ball out. Good move out the way to Kars, but a big save by King. It's gone straight to Mata. But it doesn't you know what, as Andrea King gets her 5th save of the game. So at least even if they did throw the ball away, Newcastle, they have their goalkeeper to back them up. Which is always nice to have a reliable keeper sat behind you when the defence does get a bit leaky, which can happen when you're starting to push for your own goals. Inter looked like she was travelling there, but just about running to the tackle in time. We haven't seen much from Newcastle's line play. Ball hasn't been offered into her very often at all. There's a big block from the left back. Yeah, the number 9, Rosa Search. Here she is, actually, trying to make the tackle. Moose almost breaking their way through and getting the shot away, but it was given as a foul in the end. Two minutes to go in this first half, which sees Edinburgh leading by, well, 6 goals, actually, now. Mata getting the penalty, forcing her way through. There's a bewildered look from Bergerstadt. The left wing defender, the number 5 that you can just about see on your screen there. As Andrea King tries to outwit her long-term penalty rival by the looks of this game, Cox Thompson. And she doesn't manage it on this time. Cox Thompson with her 5th 4 penalties. So Newcastle haven't got long. They're going to want to be scoring at least one more and go in with 6 goals to their name. And with any, preference, they would probably have not many scored against them either in this last minute. Hold on to the ball, try and get the ball around. Take the fouls if needed. They get the ball out to the left winger. Mata is straight out there, ready to pounce though. Good step there, but it's not happening. Ball put over the top. Here's Mata. There's space on the left, but she forces it to the line player. Edinburgh somehow get the ball back. 20 seconds to go. Edinburgh just need to hold on to the ball. Maybe thinking of something clever to do to make it 13-5 going into half-time. Newcastle need to dig deep. Last thing you want is that demoralising last goal to go in. Diaz finds a space, finds a shot, finds the back of the net. Her first of the game as the half-time buzzer blows, and that's the effect a half-time goal, a goal pretty much on the buzzer can have. Big smiles all around, good feelings from the Edinburgh team, which I'm sure they would have had regardless. And Newcastle probably feeling a little bit downhearted. They're going to need to pick themselves up in the half-time period. It's not been the most ideal first half for them. But Edinburgh played well. Lots of penalties. Mata has ran the show over that right-hand side. 13-5 is the score to the home team. And there is a few replays there. Thompson getting a goal. Good shot into the bottom left there by Lena Inter. And at the first opening stage, it did look like it was going to potentially be a close game. But it hasn't really worked out that way as we've got further into it. And I think in the last 20 minutes, Newcastle only managing to score 2, whereas Edinburgh went on to score about 10. They'll be hoping to turn that one around as they go into the second half. Newcastle, a couple of penalties have gone their way, but good saves by Veglars yet again. We saw her yesterday, absolutely brilliant in net. But Andrea King hasn't exactly had a bad time either. She's had 5 saves, even though conceding the amount she has, it would have been a lot worse without her. Great pass over by Diaz there to Mata. A fantastic step, and probably what was, in my opinion at the moment, the goal of the match. King trying to start out long, but the ball ended up in the back of the net on that one. My name's been Jack Oliphant. We're going to have a very short break. We'll give you a little bit of a break from my voice before we get back for the second half here in the bronze medal match of the NorDan British Handball Super Cup in the women's category. It is Edinburgh 13, Newcastle 5.
Good Handball still doing for you as well. Great prizes up for grabs. We've got tennis brewery 2 for 2. There's also Marie Hotel overnight stay as well for 2 people. Over 2 at high dive. Also tickets to go to Ali Baker Phil Cunningham on the 6th of September. Loads of other sort of sweet drinks, merchandise, all that sort of stuff, including tickets for the Super Cup 2024, VIP tickets no less as well. And that's all in the raffle today, which is open till 11 at 1 o'clock this afternoon.
Welcome back, everybody, to Edinburgh versus the Newcastle Vikings at the NorDan British Handball Super Cup third place playoff in the women's. It's 13-5. It's not exactly a close game at the moment. It was once upon a time in the first 10 minutes, but as soon as Edinburgh started to get their noses ahead, they started to pull away rather convincingly. Unfortunately for Newcastle, you can see them getting their one last big shout in. Both teams have been in the changing rooms trying to figure out a way to, one, extend their lead, or the other way around, trying to bring it back into contention. So far, Louise Cox-Thompson scoring 5 goals has been absolutely brilliant, especially from the penalty spot. 4 of those goals have been from the penalty spot, I have to say. Bianca Mata, one of the players of the match, probably for Edinburgh's point of view so far, has been influential. Fast breaks, tight right wing shots. Yes, has got a 2-minute suspension as well, but that shows a little bit of passion in defence, let's call it. And yeah, she's been a big part of it so far. I think she's played basically all of the match yesterday, and so far all bar 2 minutes today, obviously with that suspension. With Newcastle, Andrea King has probably been the most impactful player, the goalkeeper for Newcastle. Without her, the score would be a lot bigger. She's made 5 important saves as Edinburgh get us back underway. We've had a couple of goals from Alina Inter, Alexandra Inter, and Shimkoviak as well, who's scored 2 herself. So as Edinburgh gets back underway in this second half, remember this is for the bronze medals. There will be a prize giving at the end of it, and it's a good long high shot there by the number 14, Nuria Velicios. We haven't seen much of her so far today, but that's a good goal at the beginning of the second half. I think I said yesterday that there's obviously 2 Inters in the Newcastle Handball Club team. Here is one of them. I think, are both of them on the court? No, it seems to be the number 10 at the moment, Alexandra Inter. Apparently a mother-daughter combination, as Alina is the mother, Alexandra is the daughter. And a great pass there, and Inter Mata, good hands as well. Who else would it be, I suppose, if you're firing the ball out to the right wing? She wasn't even in the right wing there, was she? She was in the line. Great pass, great goal. Here is Inter. Good pace and intensity there by Shimkoviak. Easy for me to say, my apologies. Good intensity, running straight through the centre. And it looks like they are still giving Alexandra Inter the responsibility. There's been 4 penalties for Newcastle so far. She's scored 1 of them. Missed 2. One of them was saved, one of them was wide. As she moves her foot on that one as well, so although the ball went in the back of the net, it won't count either. That's not the confidence boost that she needed. They obviously trust her highly, think of her highly as well, because she's giving her the responsibility. Youngest player on the team. Been with the club 8 years, as has her mum. As they move the ball out to the right wing, Mata steps inside, leaves Bergstadt for dead on that right wing, and Mata gets another goal. I feel like she's been the biggest difference so far. I'm just having a look, how long has she played for? She looks like she's very experienced, only 2 years at this current club. 20, no, I'm actually looking at Musa there, only 5 months actually with this current club. But she has played for a fair amount of teams before, and actually played in the under-16s and under-18s Romanian national team. There's a penalty, another penalty gets given. This time it's Brevet who gets it. What are they going to do? It is Alexandra again, I suppose. I shouldn't be surprised at this point. I'm actually admiring the faith that Newcastle keep putting in it. No, there we go. They swapped her over. Shimkoviak. Saved by Veglars. Give and take it. Same result, unfortunately, for Newcastle. They throw the ball away up the court. No, Edinburgh do pick it up in the end. Just finish on my little Bianca Mata rant. It was, yeah, under 16 and under 18 Romanian international. Played for CCS Constanta before SSP 181 Bucharest and Amagar SK. Brevet gets up the other end, though, on the fast break. As I glance up, good finish by her. 6th goal of the game for Newcastle. 1st of the game for Brevet. So Edinburgh get the ball. It's a 10-goal game at the moment. So Edinburgh have eked out a little bit more of a lead since the second half started 4 minutes ago. I suppose that isn't entirely surprising. Ball gets moved. Good defence there by Brevitt, but not the best defence from the left back, from the right back position even. But a good save by Andrea King, her 6th of the game. Without her, this would be well over 20. Without her even, it would be well over 20. So what have Newcastle got in store? What was the thinking in the camp at half-time? Is there any tactical sort of masterclasses that we're going to see? Well, the ball being moved out to the left wing to use all that space. That was actually Inter driving into the second line, and then Bergstadt waiting patiently, knowing the spaces in front of her, just waiting for the ball, and the ball did eventually get out to her. Used all of it to the best of her ability, and well, she has a very high ability as well by the looks of it. She secures it. That's their 7th goal of the game, and Bergstadt's first. Here's Musa from the centre. Andrea King with another save. That one helped by the defence, making the Edinburgh team shoot from as far out as possible. Look at how dynamic Mata is out there, putting the pressure on. Comes back in as the line player starts to move over this way. Diaz as well, trying to force that. Oh, actually the left winger stepped up, gave the shot to Brevitt. Veglars read it, knew what was coming. Got the save. Good tackle there from the centre. Musa